Hello and welcome back to me and my screwdriver, the only channel that is going to be ranking the Season 2 Contestants game of Marooned. The Season 2 Contestants game of Marooned, that is not how I was meant to phrase that. You get the point though. I'm going to be ranking each contestant based on how well I think they did. Not necessarily like, oh, they made it far, therefore their strategy good. More just like, overall, like if I'm having to like pick like, okay, this person's strategy was pretty decent, you know, even if they're like an early boot, they can have like a good game, although this does not show that too well. I've already ranked season 1 contestants in that last video, so you can check that out, and I'm going to be ranking them on the same list because I am kind of curious to see how season 1's contestants stack up to season 2's, especially if they ever do like an all-stars type season, to see kind of like who would like come out on top. So obviously that would be like very interesting. I don't think they're going to do that next season. I know they're not going to because they've got applications for season 3. But I can definitely see it coming in the near future, maybe like season 5. And then obviously it won't just have like these contestants. But you get what I'm saying, right? I'm just gonna get started. I actually made a really difficult decision. It was either I record this today because I have to do it now if I'm recording it today, or I sit with my kitten for like a solid hour. I feel really bad. I've had to like shut the door on them because they would like climb up into like my keyboard and shit. But I'll make it up to them. But anyways, starting off with Oakley. I'm gonna be honest. Oakley is not continuing. It is not breaking the streak of first boot has a bad game. I think Oakley has like the worst game in the entire series. Unless I get to one of these and I think this person did really shit. Unless I get to fucking like Kiri or something somehow. And I reach the conclusion they're worse. Oakley has the worst game in the entirety of Marooned, in my opinion. And I like, it feels bad saying that, but like, no, it is true. It is true. Oakley went into the game and nominated himself for team leader, and I get what he was doing, you know. Everyone was a bit awkward, no one really wanted to do it, and so Oakley volunteered. That's fair enough. I'm not gonna, like, go at him for that. But then him doing that challenge was just not, like, that challenge really, he fucked up. He did not do well at all. And it's not like it was, like, a difficult challenge for him. It was just, like, direct people. I can say it's not his fault that, like, he nominated himself for team leader. It is his fault that they messed up that challenge. It is entirely on him. There's no denying that. Next challenge, he didn't do too bad. He didn't do exceptional. He didn't do, like, awful. You know, he was just kind of there. And then when it came to the vote, it wasn't necessarily his fault that he got out. I still don't think he did a good job trying to save himself, you know. He was quite snide the entire game to like people, especially when he got eliminated. Like, for Christ's sake, mate, take it a bit better. He's probably the only person in the entirety of like Marooned where I'm like, I'm not sure if I like this guy as like a person. But he got voted off. Well, I'll talk more about his vote because it ties into like a few other people on his team a lot better. But he didn't really do anything to defend himself. Similar to Jen, although at least Jen made, like, the alliance with Joe. I know that, like, Oakley did have, like, you know, was with, like, Kiri, was with, Rhonda, Jack. It's not like he really, like, pushed for them to not vote him, because it was a unanimous vote, 7-1. So, like, it's not like he really pushed them to, like, not vote him off. Jen kind of did do that with Joe. I think Oakley, at least Jen, she had challenge performance, and she had the alliance with Joe. Actually, that alliance with Joe, hold on. I might make a quick revision. I feel so bad for Seto. I love Seto. No, Seto, great Seto. Sorry. I should have done that. I should have done this other video. Ignore me. Oakley, he's just a worse Gen, if I'm being entirely honest. That is the only way I can really describe him. He is a worse Gen. Tyler, on the other hand, considering this guy was second boot, I don't think he could have really played better. For starters, Tyler in challenges, holy shit, he went up. I think the second challenge, where like it was like the obstacle course, I'm pretty sure he went up like 3 or 4 times, and he did not slow down once. He had amazing stamina. And that wasn't like an easy obstacle course either. Sure, it wasn't like fucking like Wipeout, but it wasn't easy, you know. Like he is insane at physical challenges. The guy was quite mental, and I don't think he was. I don't remember if he ever did a puzzle, but I doubt he'd do like too bad at them. He did do his like in the comeback challenge. He was a bit slow on like the math section. He was actually pretty slow on the math section, I won't lie. So, you know, maybe in that department, not the base of challenges, but physical threat. I'm gonna be honest. I reckon. Again, I only really have like 1 or 2 challenges to judge him off of. I would say he's like at least top 3 in the entire like cast for like how good they were physically. And I mean, it's not like his vote. I don't think he could have done anything to prevent it. For me, to be entirely honest, him, Kristen, and Torga made an alliance, and they were working very well. And I'm pretty sure the plan was to get out Henry because he had the idol, and he was a massive like threat when it came to puzzles. But Cam got like really paranoid and just got people voting for Tyler for really no reason. It was just like a miscommunication. There isn't. I genuinely do not think there is anything Tyler could have done to really save himself. He had the plan to get out Henry should have worked flawlessly. Cam just got insanely paranoid. There's nothing he could have really done, if I'm being entirely honest. So, and he was pretty social as well. He was like talking to like Henry and whatnot. Maybe not like the most social player ever, but he. I think that like he played a great game. He just got cut really short. I feel like if I saw more of him, he could have. I reckon if he made it to March, he would have like easily been like these like top 2 sections. He was genuinely a great player. I think I'm gonna have to put him in alright game, and I'm probably gonna put him just above Chad. Maybe I'll move Chad down to below Carl because I feel like I put Chad a little bit too high. But yeah, I'm gonna put Tyler here. I think I'm happy with Tyler being here. Which again, second boot, and he's above like 3 people who made like everyone below him, apart from these 2, made it further than him. That's insane. He played really well. He was definitely like one of the better contestants. It's really upsetting he got out so early. I really wanted to see him do more. Underdog season maybe. Rhonda. I'm just gonna say I feel like this cast might be better than the season 1 cast because Rhonda. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to glaze Rhonda too hard, but she plays an alright game. I don't know. I'll think if she's like better than Chance or not. For starters, challenges. She wasn't like awful, but like the sad reality is she's like just like she's an older contestant. She's probably not gonna do like the best at challenges. I don't think there's really like. Again, it's sad. There's not really any denying that it's not her fault. It's just kind of like the way it is, you know. I can't really fault her for that. It does affect her game though. However, socially, she might be like the best social player. Of all. She like in the season, if I'm being entirely honest, she got on well with literally everyone on her team, and she was only there for like 2 days. Like I think everyone was like friends with her after just 2 days. That is insane. That is actually like mental. And not only that, she got out Oakley. Right? Like, I don't think they did not touch on this enough, like, during the actual show. She's the reason Oakley got eliminated. When Coop asked Rhonda who threw out his name, she said Oakley, when in reality it was Jack. Jack threw out Coop's name. If Rhonda was honest and just said it was Jack, Jack wouldn't have made Final 3. He wouldn't have made it past the first vote. You know, and that, like, way to, like, save, like, an ally, because I think at that point, you know, Rhonda and Jack were probably, like, that's probably, like, who she was, like, best with. The fact that she was able to, like, save her ally in such a way, she's not a bad strategic player. Socially, she was great. Obviously, I would say, just, like, don't reveal how good you are socially, like, first few days. I feel like, you know, like, I don't want to say, like, you know, that was stupid, but, like, to a degree, yeah, kind of. But I feel like just her social game and getting out Oakley, That for me is enough to put her in like at least alright game. I'm gonna put her below Chad for now. Again, challenge performance. It's unfortunate, is what it is. I think that puts her just below Chad, honestly. Maybe she definitely has a chance to like go above him, but I think for now I'm just gonna keep her like below Chad. Cam. What do I think of Cam? Not much. Not much at all, if I'm being entirely honest. Yeah, no, not really anything. I'm gonna be real. I don't think I think anything about Cam. He made that alliance with Reese, Marissa, and Shane. That's really the only good thing he ever did. He didn't have like a phenomenal social game when he moved over to the Orange team. He was extremely paranoid when it came to the Tyler vote. He could have very easily got out Henry and made like good bonds with like Kristen, Tyler, and Torga if he just played that vote a lot better. He wasn't the best in challenges when it came to what's it? What challenge was it? The second one. He's the reason his team lost the second immunity challenge. I didn't expect to be going in on Cam this hard, but like apart from that like alliance, which in all fairness, big alliance, great alliance. What did he do that was good? You know, I liked the guy. I wanted him to do well. I just don't think he played a good game in the slightest. His whole strategy was be an open book, allow anyone to come in and be like, hey, I want to work with you. That does work. That is a good strategy, and we see that other people play this really well in a degree. I won't say they didn't play the exact same like strategy, but I feel like there's a solid like there's some good similarities between them. I'm gonna be honest. I feel really bad because I really went in on him. Cam did not play well. I think the fact that he could fight for him to like as much as like it was stupid to get out Tyler and he shouldn't have. Him being able to like show that he could absolutely fight his way out of like an elimination to us in a sense does give him some extra points. I think I'm gonna put him just above Setu, but I don't think he played a good game, if I'm being entirely honest. Shane is. I don't think Shane played a bad game. Shane didn't play a bad game at all. He wasn't awful in challenges. He was definitely more of like a puzzle guy. I think he like hurt. I think it was like his ankle or something. So physical challenges weren't really his thing, which is just unfortunate. So he was a little bit of a liability. However, socially, I mean, I think he played a good social game. You know, again, he was in that alliance with Reese, Marissa, and Cam. And as I've already discussed, that was a good, strong alliance. He managed to win that extra vote in the summit, which definitely did show to me that he definitely had the potential to be a great player. I think if I'm being entirely honest, he just got unlucky with the challenge selection. It was like a lot of physical challenges, especially in like the team phase. I think even if he did make merge, challenges would just not be in his favor, unfortunately. I feel like season 1, I feel like season 2, I like season 2. I like both seasons. I think season 1 had a better variety of challenges. It like allowed like different players to play into like their strengths. But I digress. Shane just got really unlucky, unfortunately, and I think because of that, I think he did well with pretty good with the social game, pretty good with the alliances. Got a bit screwed over by the team swap. Definitely didn't he definitely tried when it came to the team swap. It wasn't like a complete like, oh okay, this guy sucks, you know. He certainly tried. I can't remember if Austin played his idol this tribal, or if it was, because Shane used his extra vote to try and vote off. Fuck, who was it? Was it Austin they tried to vote off? I think they tried to vote off Austin. Austin played his idol. Austin didn't even receive like enough votes. It was Shane, because I think it was Kristen voted Shane rather than Austin. I think it was something like that. I'm not entirely sure. But Austin played his idol. He didn't need to. And Shane went home. So I don't think he played an awful game. He didn't play bad. He didn't play like well. You know, he's very much in the middle. I think I'm gonna put him. Do I put him above or below Marcus? Because I can definitely see an argument for like above Brie, but I don't know. Maybe this is just. I think this is ordered wrong, and I'm gonna do that. I think that's how I'm gonna do it. Henry. Henry is so interesting because he didn't really play Survivor when he was on the show. You know, he kind of just like. I feel like what's that like? I think it was like a 3DS game where it's just like the like brain teasers. I feel like he just kind of played that for his entire time there. He didn't really play like actual Survivor. But to be honest, it kind of worked. He was kind of just like this like lovable guy who was just kind of like not talking strategy. I think he like approached Tyler just to like talk about like hot dogs or something, you know, and that was like probably one of the funniest moments of the season. Henry just like he didn't play strategically, but he still made like some pretty good bonds. I think once him and Reese came back, he both bonded with Reese and also I think like Kristen's side to try and like like gain their trust, kind of get over there, that kind of stuff. He like during the when it was, I believe it was him, he did throw out Cam's name. He is the reason Cam got out. And I think, I don't know if he was entirely correct when he called Cam a social manipulator. However, I do think just like Cam's nature of being like a person who's like, I'm fine voting anyone, that is a pretty threatening thing. So I think playing that game is just like a risk in general, but I mean, stop talking about Cam, talk about Henry. I don't know, like Henry's so interesting. I don't know what to talk about. Because it's like, he didn't really do anything strategic, but like puzzles, he was so fucking good. You know? He got the idol. I believe he misplayed it. I really liked Henry. He played a pretty good social game. But I mean, I don't know. Henry just kind of, he was great at puzzles. Social game, not really. Social game, pretty good, but like actual strategy, he didn't really orchestrate a single vote. He did throw out Cam's name. So I think that's going to put him on the upper end of didn't do much bad, but not much good. I'll put him just above Annie. Which I know it's Annie now. I think I called her Amy and Ainsley in the last video. I'm very sorry. I think I corrected myself in a comment. But, Henry's just such an intriguing contestant because I don't know what to say about him. You know, it's like, that guy was here. That's all I can really say, though, you know. Reese, on the other hand, I have a lot to say about Reese. Reese is probably the best well-rounded contestant here. For starters, she didn't even get voted out on her first elimination. She got rocked out, which to me tells me that already she was gonna be fine. You know, she didn't really deserve to be eliminated. And she didn't... I was gonna say she did fight her way back into it. To a degree, she didn't really, though. It was the, Henry won the challenge, and then it was like okay, you pick someone to not come back, you pick someone to not come back, and then she was just like the last one. You could say that was actually a testament to, like, how good a social game was. And yeah, I think I'd actually agree, to be honest. I think because because Shane had to pick between her and Oakley, and Shane was immediately like, Oakley, I'm sorry, because, you know, he bonded with Reese so well. So that does actually, you know, is a testament to a social game. In general, her social game was fantastic. She bonded with, like, I think she bonded with, like, Kiri, Shaq, Martin, Marissa, Sam. She bonded really well with Sam, actually. Like, she bonded with, like, basically everyone, you know. And I think inevitably that's why she got voted off. But even then, in her vote off, she didn't get voted off. She got idled out. Reese was not a single time properly voted off. And that to me is a testament to how good she was in the game. So, and her challenge performance was not bad at all. Endurance challenges, she was so good for, like, the most part. That one where it was, like, her and Martin paired up, it was unfortunate that, like, the final, like, bit was her against Martin, because Martin's just a challenge beast. We'll talk about him. Oh my god. But, for God's sakes, like Reese played well. I think she's about here. I think she played a fantastic game, fantastic strategy. She was always on, like, the right side of the vote for the most part. I think especially since she bonded so well with Sam, who was typically the one who like basically decided who went. Obviously, getting rocked out, unfortunate. Idled out, unfortunate. She couldn't really do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a testament to how good she was. So she's our first person in a fantastic strategy, and I think she deserves it. Marissa. Marissa's so sad because she could have won. She could have. I'm not gonna go that far. She could have made it very far. It is unfortunate the way she had I think it was like health issues. It is really upsetting. I wanted her to make it really far. But for the time she was here, challenges weren't exactly her strong suit. I don't think she didn't really do like horrific in any challenges. She just was never like a standout. You know what I'm saying? Like she was kind of just like, okay, yeah, she did the challenge. Wasn't like wasn't weighing the team down. Wasn't carrying them either. Social game though. Oh my god, the way that she called the bluff on like Austin's idol. I don't know how intentional that was. I don't know how like much of that was just kind of like luck of her like throwing out like, yeah, maybe sure, Austin, maybe he has it, like questioning Coop. But that was like, oh my god, like that really shocked me, and I think that's like definitely her highlight of the entire season. She bonded very well with like Martin and whatnot, especially Martin at least. She bonded well with everyone, like Kiri. I feel like apart from Kristen, I think she bonded well with like pretty much everyone, even Austin, who she kind of didn't really do well strategy wise. They still were like, like it was very much like just like a respectful like, hey, I'm gonna vote you off. Okay, I still like you though. You know what I'm saying? And I mean like that challenge, which was like the mergatory, as they call it, where it's like just before merge, right after teams. When her and Martin were like behind because she just like was like really tired, like really exhausted, all that. Like the fact that, and you could say for health reasons, it wasn't exactly the smartest thing to push herself, because I do think pushing herself in that challenge was why she ended up like suffering so hard, like in the next episode. I do also have to respect like how much she pushed herself from going into like last into like making sure she didn't have that like extra vote on her. That to me shows how just like resilient of a player she is. Again, maybe not the best thing for her health, but if we're looking at this from like strictly a game perspective, that was like really impressive. Her social game was really good. That I think that idol bluff really does help. That like calling the idol bluff, which did kind of like which did ends up like causing like Austin's like flush the idol. I'm gonna put Marisa. I'm gonna put her in fantastic strategy. She could definitely. I think she's like on the verge of fantastic strategy, on the edge of like alright game. I'm gonna put her here. We'll see how the list goes out. If there's like too many people in fantastic strategy, I might just move her down. But overall, she played a really good game. It's really just challenges that like really drag her down. I think challenge performance honestly does have to like bring her down a bit, but she still played insanely well. Austin. Oh my god, Austin played well. For starters, he got in on that alliance of him, Coop, Sam, and Martin, which we don't need to like that. I feel like that alliance goes like a bit under like overshadowed over time, but that like core 4 alliance for like the first like team phase was huge. It was insane. He found the idol. And he did have to tell. I don't think I even mentioned like Henry finding the idol when I was like talking about him. He's such an interesting little guy. But Austin, like finding the idol, all that, like it does show that he was like good at like puzzle challenges. He was great at physical challenges as well. Physical and puzzle challenges, he was really good. He was great in challenges, in fact. Strategically, he like, when he went on to the new tribe, he didn't just like he didn't just look at like, okay, it's 4-2, I have to play my idol. When Marissa called like the bluff and like exposed the idol, yeah, he kind of was like, okay, I kind of have to play it, which it was like kind of flushed, which is kind of unfortunate because he definitely needed it for the merge. Him going over to like Kristen and all that like shows like an insane social game. Like Austin played really fucking well. and he did just get like unfortunately like cut short. I'm gonna be honest. I think like Marissa, I was like really like debating Fantastic Strategy Warrior game. I think that's like I will say this is like two and a half players in Fantastic Strategy, because God did he play well. I think above Joseph, because he didn't really make the mistake of like throwing his vote onto my random. I don't think he's above Cat though. God, like he played so well, man. I don't know. I just don't know what else to say about him. You know, just overall great game. Torga. Torga is pretty difficult. I will say him playing his like I think it was like I don't remember exactly what it was called, but like where like that advantage where like he could use it to when did he even get that? I'm struggling to remember how he got that, if I'm being entirely honest. But it was like this advantage. Oh, I think it was like the game changing advantage in like the first challenge that he just kind of took, which is actually kind of funny. But yeah, no, where he could like play it like before like a ceremony, and then any like advantages using that like tribal would be like given to him. He played that in Cineworth. He got like the extra vote, or it was like a stealer vote, which is even bigger. And the idol. He just did not play him well. He played the idol in a ceremony where he wasn't even like a name being thrown out, and then the next vote he played it. That to me was just like, oh god, that was just like so upsetting, because I feel like Torga could have done really well. I feel like he did kind of hype himself up a little bit for how good he was at being strategic, considering he didn't really do too much great with strategy. It felt more like it was Kristen doing most things, at least during the especially during the team phase. But I mean, and I get it. His like idea was hide how strategic I am, because I'm already not social, well, kind of a social threat, but like a challenge threat, and then like be a bit more strategic during the merge. I don't think he ever really was that more strategic he talked about, unfortunately. Which does kind of suck, but it is what it is. I just don't know where to put him, because the alliances he made were really big. I just don't think he ever really did much in them. I don't know, actually. I really don't know, actually. I'm trying to think of like everything he did. He was very good at challenges. He was extremely good at challenges, especially during like the team phase. I feel like I have to put him at least all right game. It's just where do I put him? I feel like he's like, it feels weird putting him like below like Tyler, but I feel like he goes here. I feel like he made too many like detrimental moves like later on into his like game, to the point where it's like I kind of just have to put him there, unfortunately. Oh, and that I there's something that was like in my mind, like there's something like really dragging him down for me, and I just couldn't like place my finger on it. He got pretty mad at Kristen when she placed the skull in front of him during the I think it was Final 9 challenge, something like that. Him getting that like mad made him like so much more distrustful of her, and I think that's really what kind of like, it's not what got him out, but it definitely helped. I feel like that was like a bit of like an overreaction for that, for being entirely honest. So I think I'm gonna put Torga here. Sam. Oh, Sam's another interesting one. Sam's like a very fun person to talk about for his game, because I mean, like, he was good. He was good. I want to go over his flaws first, because I think they're like fresh on my mind. Because I've been like looking at him while I was doing like talking. I was like, oh, speaking of that idol, he played his idol during the double elimination, where he got, I believe, the least votes. He did get votes, in all fairness, but he got the least votes. And I understand why he played the idol. First of all, Jack told him to. We'll get onto that. But also, past few troubles, he was like the like second one, like second most voted. Hell, being tied with Coop in the first one, mainly because those two did have like the extra votes on them. But you know, they were tied up. I feel like I would also play my idol. If I was in that situation, I would play an idol. Pretty fair. I'm not gonna fault him too hard for it, but it was an idol misplay, you know. And that idol, again, he really needed it later on. He was also extremely paranoid. It felt like whenever he like lost a challenge, whenever he didn't win immunity, his mindset was, I'm going home. And I think that mindset, the issue is, because he didn't like keep that to himself, he would like tell quite a lot of people, mainly his allies in all fairness, but like a lot of time he would tell people like, I think I'm going home tonight. When you say that kind of stuff, and people were like originally like, I don't think Sam's going home. When you say that, especially to someone who's like, who thinks they're the one going, it's like, oh shit, he thinks he's going. I need to place my vote on him to secure that I don't go, you know? Like, if people are already voting him, I need to make sure he goes so that it's not me, you know what I mean? And that doesn't really help him. Uh, he was extremely strategic. A bit egotistical in all fairness, but extremely strategic, you know? Like, he didn't really get out Ronda. I think he kind of aided. Same with, like, Oakley. He didn't get them out, though. He wasn't, like, the lead course. Going into, like, he's the reason, like Henry tipped off Sam. Sam did all the work to get Cam out. You know, Sam basically decided, is it Reese or Cam that goes? And he decided on Reese, and whether or not that was a good idea, I guess you can decide. But the fact that he had that power in the first place, just goes to show he has a very good social game, very good strategic game, all of that. And people tried to blindside him a lot. People tried to turn on him, and they just never really had a good opportunity to until this vote. You know, he did a very good job making himself like not the vote. You know what I'm saying? You got people against Coop. He did a lot. You know, I feel like his paranoia definitely does drag him down a hell of a lot for me. He's still going in fantastic strategy. I think he had good social game. I think his strategy puts him a bit above Reese, but below Joseph. I think I'm gonna stick him like right there. Which, by the way, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're not even like at the final 5 yet. This is technically final 6. I know we've already talked about Reese, so we'll just say final 5. We're at the final 5. We've not even ranked them, and there's already like 3 people in Fantastic Strategy. No one in Mastermind yet, in all fairness, but you know, I feel like the issue is this season there were a lot more chances for people to like mess up. So I feel like season 1, there was a lot more like, if this person's in control, this person's in control, and that kind of like allowed these two people to rise to the top. Obviously, I'm not saying like these two people did deserve it, but there was a lot more opportunities for people to mess up in season 2, at least from how I see it. Going on to Coop though, I know this might sound insane, right? This might genuinely sound insane, but I'm kind of inclined to put him in Mastermind. It sounds so dumb, because Coop is this like guy who's not exactly the best strategically and has like this mullet. He has a mullet, that says a lot. But I feel like Mastermind suits him. Coop played, I think, one of, if not the best strategic games in the entire show, because he was too likable. I'm someone who likes people who are like extremely strategic to win. I was fucking rooting for this guy to make it to the end. He was funny as shit. I can't put him in Mastermind. I can't put him in Mastermind. I can't put him above Nickel Page. I'm sorry. I want to put Coop so high so bad, but I can't justify it. He was the funniest player there, but also his like challenge performance, for fuck's sake, he was good. He was able to like, I think he did a very good job playing both sides. He was like allies with Sam, to an extent. You know, it kind of fell off nearer to the end, but he was also like allies like Kristen and Torgor and all that. He played both sides really well. He just like won too many challenges and was way too likable for people to keep him around. I can't put him too high because his strategy was, he didn't even really have a strategy, you know. I feel like I want to put him in. I really have to put him in Fantastic Strategy. He was too fucking funny. He was too fucking like social. He was too good at challenges. I can't not put him in Fantastic Strategy. His play, right? The way he played around his like shit poker face by telling Kristen I didn't look in the box during like the deal or no deal challenge. I didn't look in the box. It's just a 50-50 shot. As stupid as it was on paper, that is the smartest thing he could have done. He knew he couldn't lie through his teeth well enough, so it was like, I'm better off just with like a 50-50 chance. That to me is like so funny, but genuinely so intelligent. It feels so weird putting Coop high. It feels so weird putting Coop above people who like I look at and I'm like, they're really strategic players, like Sam, like Austin, like Kat, like Joe, like Reese, even like some of the people in Alright Game. But his social game was too good. I like, as much as he did get those points, his challenge game. Oh my! I don't know how I can put him any lower, but I feel like I should. If it's so weird, it's really weird. Maybe it's a little bit of bias because I really did like Coop a lot, but I'm keeping him there, and I'm not changing it. Martin. Oh God, Martin. For starters, again, same thing with Coop. Challenges. Martin shocked me. Like I looked at it like in the team phase already. I was like, okay, this guy's great at challenges. I didn't realize to what extent he was good at challenges. You know, like, first of all, great social player. You know, I think he bonded really well with like Marissa, Reese, most people who were on Ursa Die. I think I called Ursa Die Lexus earlier. I'm so sorry. I've only now caught that mistake. I don't know what the pink tribe's called. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry. He on like Ursa Die, he bonded with pretty much everyone. Everyone liked him, and challenges he was great at. And I think what helped him be so good at challenges is who he voted off. I don't know how intentional this was, but I think if we look at who, like the order that people got voted off in, you've got Coop, Sam, Torga, Henry. All four of these people were people who had proven themselves to be exceptional in challenges. Henry on like the more like, you know, puzzle side, Torga on like the more physical, Sam a little bit of both, Coop very much physical, and I guess a little bit of mind games with that fucking deal or no deal shit. And then you look at what like the final 5 challenge was. It was running from one side to the other to like gather water, which Coop was very good at, Sam was pretty good at, and Torgal was very good at. And then it was a puzzle, which Henry was really good at, and Sam was also pretty good at. You know? Again, I don't know how intentional it was, but I feel like Martin managed to get out each person who was like extremely extremely big challenge threats so that he could win the challenges. That to me is like insane, like strategy. That is like phenomenal strategy. I would also say I'm trying to think. There's a lot more I want to say. His alliances were also just great, you know. I think like he probably made some of like the most alliances in the game. You know, like even with like people who like were just like complete opposite sides of like the game. You know, like Marisa. Marisa was not working with like, you know, Sam and all that ever. Never in like a million years would I say she was going to work with them, right? But he still made friends with her, you know? He made so many good social bonds, not necessarily strategically, but social bonds on the other like side of the game that they just didn't want to really vote him off, you know? And I think that gameplay, I don't really have a negative to say about Martin. So I feel like unironically, Martin does go into Mastermind. I think he was a very good player, you know? I feel like obviously he did lose that Final Four challenge, which was unfortunate. You could say that from like a strategic standpoint, the whole like thing of like, I want to make this like a fair, you know, final like challenge. I don't want to go against someone who I know I can beat. That's fair, you know. I think that's very fair. Like to say that that's not very like the best thing strategically, but at the same time, I mean, come on, like I don't want to like hold that against him because he has like morals, you know. I don't want to say, yeah, he was really smart, but also he was a good person, so, you know, like I'm gonna put him in Mastermind. Jack is someone whose game went insanely underappreciated. I haven't seen anyone in fucking comment section talking about him. No one on the actual show has been talking about him, but Jack, in my opinion, might have played the best game. Might have. I'm not gonna rank these guys until I talk about all of them and then make my mind up, because all of them played exceptionally well. I think I don't want to put them all in Mastermind because I don't want like 6 people in Mastermind, because then it's like, you know, as many people in like the highest tier as like some of the lower tiers. But there is definitely a case for all of them. Obviously, I'm going to start with Jack because he's the one who got 3rd place. Only 1 vote from the jury. That is genuinely a crime, because this guy, I think even like Kristen said it. Jack played probably the best like middle game I've ever seen. Right? He played so well. He was, I guess, for the most part, working with like Sam, all that, right? But when he flipped, he knew exactly when he needed to flip, right? Because he built up that trust with Sam to where Sam in the double vote asked Jack, you know, should I play my idol, right? And Jack, knowing full well Sam was not the vote here, told him, yeah, do it. Play the idol. And that flushed the idol to open up for the flip next round to get out Sam. That was all pre-planned, you know? Jack also worked with Kristen, which was, like, I think, you know, fantastic, like a fantastic play, you know? Working with someone who, and Kristen, we have to keep in mind, right? Kristen, by the time, like, Final 5 hit, apart from Jack, she had no allies, because they'd all been picked off one by one, right? Jack saw that and was like, okay, Kristen's gonna be, you know, like, obviously they, like, genuinely bonded as people, but also, like, obviously she's gonna be a bit more like, okay, I kind of need someone to vote with me, you know? And so, you know, he saw that and was like, okay, I'm gonna become friends with her, right? Jack bonding with Rhonda, again, this could be, like, pretty much accidental, but Rhonda, like, the bonding with Rhonda is the reason he wasn't the first boot, you know, because she threw out Oakley's name only because Jack bonded with her. He made so many alliances. I just don't really see a way where Jack doesn't, like, it genuinely shocks me this guy did not make it to at least 2nd place. Him getting 3rd place, absolute crime. I'm gonna say, I think he played better than Nick. I think he definitely played better than Nick. Do I think he played better than Martin? I think Martin did a better job at, like, securing the fact that people on the other... I know I said I was going to rank them all, like, once I talk about them all, but I'm going to go back on that. I think Martin did a better job at making sure, like, people didn't, like, want to vote him off on the other side. You know, it was only Kristen's sole vote, and it was only because he was such a massive, like, social threat, which is exactly what he'd been building up this entire game. I'm going to put Jack just, like, top of fantastic strategy. I think that's, like, perfect for him. Love Jack. He deserved way more votes. Kristen and Kieran, the 2 Ks. Both these people played a phenomenal game. Let's talk about Kristen first. I was like 100% sure Kristen was gonna win. I'm gonna be honest. Kiri, sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Kristen. For starters, Kristen played the only correct idol in the entire game, and I'm actually gonna say, I don't think that is anything. That's not something negative. That's not something positive about her, because the thing is, as much as I love Kristen, that idol find, that was purely luck. There is no other way to put it, right? Finding that idol 1 minute before lockdown for the ceremony that she was 100% going out in, and Final 5, so it was the last time she could use that idol. That is just entirely luck. There is no other way to put it, you know? If she found it Final 6, because Final 6 is definitely a vote she could have been eliminated in, and instead, like, was it Final? No, it was Final 5. Reese got out. Sorry. I was just making sure I was getting things right. If it was like Final 6, she found it and then she didn't play it and then played it Final 5, that would be like more impressive to me, because it's like, oh, okay, she, like, you know, identified that she's not going to be out, even though it could definitely be her. And then she played it like the round after to save herself, right? Finding the idol literally like a minute before that is luck. That is like insanely luck. She played great. I'm just trying to get the negatives out of the way. It's not even like a negative. It's just like a neutral thing, you know? It was luck. Good on her for finding it, but it was luck. I don't think she necessarily had like a phenomenal social game. I think what she did, she had a good social game in the sense that she made the alliances she needed to early on, and then she stuck with them. You could say that wasn't exactly, like, the smartest, but I feel like outside of Jack, while she definitely, you know, talks to other people, it was mainly just, like, strengthening the bonds within her already like formed alliance. That's fine. That can work insanely well, especially when you're as big of a threat as Kristen, both in challenges and strategically. Making sure that people like you enough to not ever turn on you. Clearly it worked. She's the only one who made it. She's the only one of that like alliance that made it all the way to final three. So again, very clearly it worked. But it's kind of like branch out a little bit more. I think she could have branched out a little bit more, but that's really like my only critique. Strategically, she got out everyone she needed to. Shane, Shane was like a liability to the team. She didn't want to go to any more tribals. She got out Shane. She made bonds with Austin, because Austin I think Austin approached her, but even then, Austin was definitely clearly desperate for allies, so she used that to her advantage. She would have gotten out Henry, literally second round, flushed that idol immediately if it wasn't for Cam kind of fucking up. I'm not gonna lie. She won that challenge with Austin in like Mergatory. And then I feel like that entire like alliance, like Kristen's entire alliance, I feel like that's kind of when it started to go a bit downhill. Because I think they were so focused on getting out Sam for the most part. It was like 2 or 3 votes in a row, like where like Sam was the second most, where they could have definitely tried something else to try and like weaken Sam's, game and then go for him. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's not entirely Kristen's fault. It's that alliance as a collective. I think that entire alliance could have played better. I still think, obviously, she played well. Again, socially, taking Jack to the end, definitely smarter than taking Martin to the end. I think just overall, Kristen played well. I don't think she played as well as Jack. I think she played better than Nick though. So she does make she makes it. I'm not trying to like put it down here. She played well. I just don't. I'm sorry. I really like Reese. I wanted to stay in Fantastic Strategy. I just don't like how the tier list looks with like so many people in Fantastic Strategy. This is just me being like, oh, I need it to look nice, No, that's mean. She is in Fantastic Strategy. She deserves to be there. And then finally, Kiri, the season winner. Kiri is. She deserved the win. She's so difficult to talk about because I feel like there's so many times where it's like, was she doing anything there? But I feel like she played a lot more under the radar game, and I think that definitely worked to her advantage. For starters, right? First challenge, she completely loses for the team, and in doing so, she breaks her foot. And I look, I'm not condoning, purposely like walking around with like a broken foot instead of like getting medical help. However, the fact that she concealed that all the way to the finale to then use that as ammunition for her speech. Holy shit. That to me is insane. Like that is dedication. That is insane dedication. I'm sorry, but I've never seen anything like it. Moving on from that, she identified she wasn't going to be good at challenges, and she used that to her advantage. She did win immunity once, but it was more of like I don't want to call it luck, but it was like the like opening boxes. You get a box for like your placement. Again, not luck, so to speak, but not exactly like the most skillful immunity win. It was luck. It was kind of luck, yeah. But she was also with like Jack on like flipping on Sam a lot of the time, and she tried to do it so many times. People just didn't want to go along with it. That was not her fault. The fact that she was like so willing to get out Sam, and there was so many chances she could have, but people were just not cooperating with her. But it was to me like clearly the like right move. That sucks. I'm not putting that on her though. It's just she played so well socially. I don't think there is a single person who didn't like Kiri. Even Oakley, who I would say is someone who didn't really do a great job getting along with people, he liked Kiri. I don't think Cam ever really talked to Kiri all that much. I'm trying to like think. Shane didn't really talk to Kiri all that much. Henry didn't really talk to Kiri all that much. Rhonda got along with Kiri. Torga didn't really talk to her that much. I know I'm saying that a lot. Tyler literally didn't get a chance. Marissa, she got along with Marissa. She got along with Reese. She got along with Sam. She got along pretty well with Austin. She got along with Coop. She got along with Kristen, Jack, Martin. Like all the people who made it really far, she was friends with. That's the point I'm trying to make. She played an insane social game. And I think she did a very, very good job at making her speech. Like, I think Jack's speech, I think that's what really lowered it for me. I feel like Jack could have done so much more to make his speech a lot more powerful. I just don't think he was the best at, like, making a speech. I think that's genuinely his flaw. Kristen, similar thing. I think she dwelled on, like, the Survivor Club thing for a bit too long. She could have talked a lot more about her strategy because she had a great strategy. She could have definitely like done a bit more of that. Unfortunately, she didn't. Oh well. Kiri made such a good speech, a bit emotional. She did the same thing Dijon did, where they mixed in like emotions, but also was like, here's like the insane players I made. You know what I'm saying? I think her social game was immaculate, and she did the thing that I really praised. In a sense. Not social game this time, but challenges. She did the same thing that Carl did with social game, where he acknowledged this isn't my strong suit. I'm gonna play around that. That's exactly what she did. That to me is something that like is a very strong player can do. Working around weaknesses is something that goes insanely underappreciated. I know it's really boring to be like, oh, the winner goes in Mastermind. She does. The question is where. I think she goes above Martin, right? Does she go above Jimmy, Dejan? I don't think she goes above Dejan. I think Dejan had an immaculate game, but does she go above Jimmy? I'm gonna say it's boring to have like the two winners be the top two, but yes, right? Kiri was able to be in like quite a great position of power without making it so obvious. The major flaw Jimmy had, I'm actually going to move him below Martin for this. The major flaw Jimmy had is that he was not good at concealing how much of a threat he was. Like, it was so obvious he was running the game. And most people knew it. That's why Dejan calling him out worked out so well. Because everyone was like, okay, now finally I can, like, get him voted off, right? Because I feel like everyone was thinking it. They just needed, like, a reason to go for him. Kiri was in such a great position. Everyone liked her. She was able to flip votes. She was able to like talk to most people. And I didn't even mention though this insane thing that she did. Which was also playing around her like challenge like, I guess incapabilities to put it nicely. That wasn't nice. I'm sorry. Final four, their approach with either all unanimously agree to take someone to the end, or go to rocks. And she was so firm on it being her that goes to the end unanimously, rather than like doing the challenge, because she knew she couldn't win that challenge. And so she used her social game, and she used her just overall capabilities to be able to say, okay, bring me to the end, and completely skip out on that challenge. And that to me was like a really like a key moment that really like sold the jury, I think. So I think that's really what puts Kiri here. So it's a bit boring to have, the two first boots down here, two winners up here, but there's a reason they're one and there's a reason they were first boots, Are there any revisions I'm gonna make? Oakley, yeah, Jen here, Setu here, Cam here, Bree here, Shane here, Marcus here, Annie here, Henry here, Shabby. So far I'm pretty happy. Henry was really good at challenges. I kind of want to put him up for that. Ronda, I feel like I have to put Ronda above Chad. I feel like Ronda's social game was too good. Chad's social game wasn't awful, but I think when it came to the team swap, yeah, he kind of fumbled. Torga, I'm fine here. I'm gonna put him above Carl, actually. I feel like Carl did fumble a little bit. Carl, I'm happy here. Tyler, I'm happy here. Hunter, I'm happy here. I didn't even realize how they seem like somewhat similar. Maybe it's just like the way that they're facing, and they both have brown hair. Actually, those are the only similarities. Yeah, I'm sorry. Nose, I'm happy here. Reese, I'm happy here. Reese, I'm happy here. Sam, happy here. Joe, happy here. Austin, happy here. Cat, happy here. Coop, happy here. Paige, Nick, Kristen, Jack, Jimmy, Martin, Kiri, Deshaun. I'm happy with my list. So I think overall, while season 2 didn't have like the best player, season 1 did. I think season 2 had like an overall more like better cast when it came to like their game. I don't know which cast I prefer more, just from like a personal level. For example, I've said it so many times. I really like Setu, and I'm so annoyed that I have to put him like so low, but he just unfortunately didn't play that well. You know, I like Setu. I liked Marcus. You know, from like a personal level, some of these people I would have put like as low if it was purely personal. There's some people I wouldn't put as high if it wasn't like if it was a little bit like more personal. For example, Jimmy, great guy. I think compared to a lot of the other people in season 1 cast, I didn't like him as much. You know, just like for example, it feels really like shit pointing out someone like specifically to be like, oh, I don't want you up here, but you know, like I for like a person, I'm just trying to make like one point from a personal perspective. Jimmy would be that. I'm not saying he wouldn't be like he would be like down here if it was a personal list. I'm saying he would be maybe like a little bit lower. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like I need to clarify that. Nick would be like number 1. You know, Hunter would be a lot higher. Tyler would be a lot higher. You know, like I feel like you know, like a lot of the time, you know, it's just kind of like I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Point is, upsetting that I can't make this like a personal list. I don't want to do like a personal list because I feel like that's just kind of cruel. You know, it's like, oh, you're like my least favorite person here. You're my favorite. I like this guy more than you. That feels weird when you do it with like real people. I might do like a fucking. I'm doing a lot of these tier lists. I might do like a total drama ranking. That's fine because they're not real people. It feels weird when I'm ranking real people. You know that's not right. That's not right. I'm not gonna do that. That got like really off topic. I'm sorry. I've got some other like Marooned content planned. I'm not gonna do like I've got like 3 videos now in a row where it's Maroon. I'm probably gonna like take a bit because I've actually had a consistent upload schedule for once. I can't allow that. I'm probably gonna work on like my final Disventure Camp video. Do a little bit of work on that. That's gonna be the next thing. Couple reactions to maybe like rap battles and whatnot, and then I'll get back onto Maroon because I hate whenever I like get into like the trap of like this thing over and over and over. As much as Maroon is like my current like hyperfixation, I've gotta talk about something else. But anyways, that's this video. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification if you want to be a little screw that I'll use to build my next table with. I think that's everything. I think I'm happy with this list. With that said, fucking see ya.